Thanks for downloading this episode of the Nerdball Podcast, brought to you by whatever, again, whoever wants this be brought to you by. You know what? It's brought to you by me because I'm here and I'm talking, and this podcast is what I'm doing right now. So I say it every week, but thanks to all of the downloaders, subscribers, people who share the podcast. You guys make this thing grow, and it can't be done without you. And it's great. It's going great. I'm having so much fun. And, there's some things that I'm trying to do now that, the football season's over. There's a little bit more time. So I've been making more TikToks. So follow the TikTok. It's just the Nerdball Pod. So go like that page and enjoy those TikToks there. I'm trying to make 2 or 3 for each episode just to, get people to coming over to the podcast, check it out. Go to the YouTube page, like that YouTube page. I think I'm up to 127 now. So we got a little less than a month to get this to 150. So hopefully you can do that. And I'm sure there's a spot, but I haven't figured out how I can see my subscribers because there's so many of you. I don't know if I can see all of them. But maybe I can do something special for the subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, I guess, that's it. With Christmas coming up, what better gift to give your favorite podcaster than subscribing to his YouTube page? So check that out, please. This episode was great. I had 2 football players on, 2 seniors that just wrapped up their football season. Obviously not the way we wanted, but they were gracious to come on here and talk about that and amongst other stuff. So again, thank you all for listening to the podcast and downloading it. I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hi, this is Andrew Boden.
Hi, my name is Landon Graham.
And this is the Nerdball podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Just as well scripted as I thought it would be. Guys, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Boden, you've been hounding me, I feel like, for 2 years to come on the podcast, and now your dreams have come true. How do you feel?
I mean, it feels great. I've always seen other teammates and stuff come on the podcast, and I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
And you've always come up with an excuse every week somehow, but finally
here we are. I think you just caught me like in a really good mood because I was, we had a good night at the banquet and handing out awards, and finally I was like, all right, Boden, come on, here, now's your time. But you have to bring somebody. And you brought one of my best buds, Landon.
Yeah.
I think
finally I'm not awkward enough, I guess.
Quiet anymore.
Well, I heard you when Boden couldn't hear us before we started. What I thought was a Boden impression, and I've never heard you do an impression of anybody. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I want to hear this impression later.
Oh, don't even worry about it, then.
Nah, it wasn't that good. It was just good enough where I laughed because like I said, I never heard Landon do anything like that before. So
yeah,
it was cool. So just real quick for people who may not know, both of you played on the football team. You are both seniors who are no longer playing football anymore, which I want to start there because it's always a weird feeling. Every senior goes through it who plays football. When the season ends, maybe it's different now because our season ended, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, maybe a little bit longer. How do you feel initially, and then how do you feel now? We'll start with Graham. Like, how do you, when the season, like when we lost the playoff game, everything was done. How did you feel?
Well, I mean, for me, it was hard because like I kind of had already gone through the process of like losing football already, because I had my injury. So, a couple weeks before. So I kind of already had that feeling of like my football career is done. But then I kind of had to go through it all again, like a couple weeks later. So, I mean,
did you anticipate that? Like, did you know that you're like, man, I didn't know I was going to feel like this again?
Like, I kind of thought I was over it, but then, even like during the game, as we're, reaching the end, we know it's going to be over and we're going to lose. Like, it really didn't hit me until like right after the game ended and we're all in the huddle together.
Yeah.
And like I didn't think I was going to go through it again, but I definitely did. And it was hard, especially like the next Friday, like not having, not having a game and like not having practice that next week felt very weird. And like I keep expecting myself to have go to lifting or something like off season lifting and stuff like that, and it's just hard because you don't.
Yeah, it's an abrupt end, like to all these things, and you don't like there is no end unless you get to the championship game. Then like, all right, well, this is it. This is the end. This is the last day of football. But until then, it's you don't know if it's going to be your last day. But Boden, how'd you feel that the night after our last game?
It really sucked because I have been playing football since I was in fifth grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been playing for Perrysburg, and it just feels really weird not playing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that night, I remember Coach Pat tried to pull me out, and I said, "No, just give me this last drive," because it was over. They were gonna take the knee, but I'm like, "Nope, just keep me in. I want to go. I just want to do it. Just stay out there." Um, it was just super emotional,
Yeah.
just because like my whole family was there, and they've watched me play since, like I said, fifth grade, and it's always just been like part of who I am. So just as football ended, it felt really weird having so much free time that I've never really had before. And just it was just weird.
That's what I was gonna ask you guys. Like after football, because obviously for anybody who's not a senior, they're lifting. You go to lifting, and you're still participating in the football stuff. What about you guys? Like, Boden, what are you involved in now, or what takes up your time now? Because football takes a lot of time, obviously. So what are you doing now to kind of like fill that void?
I mean, I started taking naps after school, which is really weird, but like I just have so much time now and I'm
Naps
like
are life
tired.
changing, though.
I know. It's life changing. Never really experienced it before. But
So
pretty much either that or I'm gonna start like doing basketball with through like Young Life.
oh, okay.
And I'm thinking about starting to start lifting up like lifting again.
Do seniors? I never really paid attention. Do seniors like are they allowed to, or do they still live with the football team if they want to? I'm assuming they could, but I didn't know if they did.
They could, but I know that in previous years it's kind of like shamed on by past players. Like a couple years ago, someone wanted to, and they were like, "Oh no, don't do it, don't do it."
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just something that you are allowed to do, but people
Just
don't
no one ever
really.
really does it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, all right, it's. I mean, we're shifting here to the next season, and it makes sense. But Landon, what about you? Because even though you were injured, you were still there. You're still as much involved
Yeah.
time wise. Like, what are you filling that time with?
Well, now I do have like rowing conditioning that starts already.
Okay.
Monday and Wednesday, we have practice, and I actually have been able to do it with my injury. I mean, a limited way, but
Mm-hmm.
still, I've been able to do it. And then also, I mean, I've applied to or got to turn in my application to Casmeyers, and like I'm looking for a job. But I mean, beyond that, uh,
Just being really smart and doing all your studies.
yeah, basically, you know,
So that rowing conditioning, I know you said limited, but it surprised me that you could do it because you have a torn ACL, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I feel like it's a lot of leg that you do rowing with.
Well, because you're not planting or anything like that. You're not planting. You're not twisting. It's just the same repeated
Oh.
movement over and over again. Your feet are even locked in. Like it's not counterproductive to
So
row.
it's really like if you were if if you even if you were just standing on the ground and just like squatting up and down, is that something that I mean? Because that's what I feel like that's what it equates to. Because you're sitting, but you're still like just bending your knee and pushing it.
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Because I mean, more of your it's more of a you're not pushing the ground away. You're like pulling yourself away almost.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay.
The feeling's different. But yeah, I mean, like it is a little bit like squatting over and over and over again. But like I've been doing that at PT for the last couple weeks now. And yeah,
Well, I'm glad
um,
that you can still do it because I know how much you like that, and whenever
mhm.
kids get injured, I always think about like obviously football is one thing, like, oh, they can't play football, especially if they're seniors. Or like,
Yeah.
what's the next thing you do? Like last year when Sam Yonker got hurt, I know he's been the hockey goalie for 4 years, or he was going to be a senior. It was his fourth year, and when he got hurt, my first thought was like, man, that sucks for football. I was like, oh, but hockey too. Like I always think about these other things, so it's good to hear that you can still do rowing.
Yeah. I mean, like right away when it happened, that was one of the first questions I asked to both the physical trainer and to the doctor, like, am I going to be able to row in the spring? And what they said then was a pretty confident yes. But I've been progressing really fast and doing really well in PT. So now it's more of like a definite yes.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so yeah.
And you had
Um,
surgery and everything already?
oh yeah. I had surgery, about 3 weeks ago on this past Thursday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, but I'm fully walking now. Um, I've got full range of motion on the brace. They're saying I should be out of that in a couple weeks. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's good to
Hmm.
hear.
Yeah.
Boden, Graham mentioned that he is looking to get a job. Is that something that you ever entertained at all? Or do you have a job?
I have two jobs right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I work at Subway whenever I can,
Oh, yeah. So
but my but
How could
my
you forget?
main job right now is Bass Pro.
okay. What do you do there?
I'm a cashier.
All right. Bass
It's
Pro.
it's fun. Just shake people out, and I mean, there's a lot of people that come through there that are very interesting, and you get to like meet new people, and it's always fun to learn about what people do and
How
that kind of
much
stuff.
how much do you get to talk to these people as they're going through the line?
Not much, but like even just
Enough,
like
right?
yeah, like 10, 12 seconds of just talking to this person about what they do for a living. It's something that I enjoy because they're so interesting sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like something I've never heard. Like someone came in the other day and they're just buying a ton of beef jerky for no reason,
Yeah.
and they like live in an RV.
Oh,
I should like hear like their side of like how it is. And I
do
think
you,
it's pretty cool.
do you enjoy the outdoors?
Yeah. So I go fishing in like the spring, and I just went hunting this past week for deer season.
Did you get anything?
Yeah, we had a doe.
Okay. All right. Do because I know my father-in-law and my wife's cousin, my cousin, I guess. They hunt, but they really only get like a doe like towards the end of their time, just because like they want to get bucks, and then like, well, I've been out here for 5 straight days and I haven't been able to get anything. I guess I'll shoot a doe. Is that, or do you just go and like I just want to get something right away and then I'll be done?
Well, we've been hunting for like 10 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so rare to see any deer out there. So then even if you see one, you're like, oh, I want to try and get it because
All right.
like I think that was my first deer, and I've hunted for like 10 years, I said.
Really?
But it's because we don't have that much land, but it's just they're always moving around. There's always so many people out. And
Yeah.
it's only a week out of the year, and you can only really go one day
I heard
because
I heard it was
there's
always hard to hunt in Ohio, hunt deer in Ohio.
well, there's a lot of them, but it's just trying to find the right spot.
Yeah.
It's just everything's so open, and there's so many cornfields that it's hard to like find a good place to go.
Yeah. I talked to a couple of friends where I asked them about their hunting, and I was like, oh yeah, where do you hunt? And like nobody talks about like where they hunt, because it's like these super secret things, because sometimes they get permission from certain farmers, and then or they have this special little spot and they don't want people to know about like all these things. I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah. Yeah, it's we just go out at an old church friend's like land out in I think it's Seneca County.
okay, all right. Well,
So it's
don't give your secrets away,
all
brother.
right, I
Yeah,
won't, I won't.
I don't want you to get in trouble. Hunting. I went hunting one time. Again, my wife's family's from New York, and cousin out there has like 30 some acres. I think he has more now, but at the time I think it was like 30 some. So we went out there. I think there was like five of us in different tree stands in different spots, and it was all right. It's not my thing. I didn't grow up hunting, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a cool thing I wanted to do like one time, just to say I did it. I did see turkeys fly in one time, which is pretty cool. But I don't know. I guess I love venison. Like my
Yeah.
father-in-law shot a 10-point buck a few weeks ago, and I'm sure my freezer will be filled with venison when he gets back. So I'll eat it all day. But I
Yeah.
don't know, it's not my thing.
Yeah, the worst part is the cold. Because it
Oh
gets
yeah,
really cold out there sometimes, and
yeah,
you're
man.
just
Yeah,
freezing.
so so my father-in-law when he hunts, he has like the Cadillac of hunting blinds. It's like a giant shed in a tree. Like there's
Oh
even
yeah,
carpet on the floor. Like it's crazy. Like how do you even hunt when you're like warm and toasty? And I would just sleep the whole time. I wouldn't even like it was awesome. And I was in a tree stand where it's one of those ones you just put in a tree. It's a seat and you hope you don't fall. That's where I'm at.
yeah. I stand on the ground, lean up against a tree, and just stand there for hours.
Oh, you don't even get to go up top, huh?
No, nope. We just stand at the bottom and we just sit there and we're freezing.
Are you with people or are you by yourself?
I'm with my dad and brother,
Okay, yeah,
so
because
we all go and spread out.
yeah, all right. Do you get and then you just like just sit there. That's the one like fishing too. Like I can do fishing a little bit, but people
Mhm.
will be out there for hours and just sit there and nothing happens.
Yeah, yeah. We went this past summer to Rice Lake up in uh Canada,
Okay,
and we went fishing for like we'd go out at like 7 in the morning, come back for lunch, and then go right back out until it was dark.
it's my nightmare.
But it was so much fun because you don't catch anything, and then you find one spot, and you just as soon as it hits the water, you're reeling in a fish. It's
Yeah,
just like the excitement of trying to find
sure.
that one spot.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, one thing too about fishing is I don't like the water, being on the
Yeah,
water. I get seasick real easy. So if I fish, it's just, little ponds that I can stand on the bank. I go to the end of the Maumee River and, cast in there every once in a while. But if I didn't have a kid, if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't have ever gone fishing.
yeah,
It's just not my jam. You know what? I was thinking with being a cashier at Bass Pro, I would be so interested, but maybe because I don't know as much, is like when people buy certain things, I'd have to ask like, you're buying this bait? Is this specific for something? I mean, you may know that because you've been doing it for a while, but I would be so interested in like every time somebody brought something up to the cash register, I'd want to ask them like, oh, what are you fishing for with this thing? Just because it's interesting to me.
yeah. There's some people like there's some like lures that are only for certain fish,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I'm getting this for my son, and he wants to start getting into fishing, and it's like a giant lure for like muskie or something. And I'm like, you're not gonna catch anything with it, but like I don't want to tell them that to their face, like this is not what you use. But it's just fun to like just learn how people like what people use,
Yeah.
and then you can always ask them like where they go fishing, and sometimes they tell you. Sometimes like the hunting situation and say, nope, it's my spot. I'm not gonna tell you where it's at.
All right. Keep your secrets.
Yeah.
Landon, are you an outdoorsman?
Well, okay, so I followed and kind of observed or whatever when my dad and I guess would be my great uncle, so like his uncle
Yeah.
go used to go hunting a lot. Like every Thanksgiving, it was kind of tradition
Yep.
that like the Friday after and they'd go like pheasant hunting.
Okay.
So I watched one of the times. But after we went skeet shooting, and I had never been like that good of a shot, but like I tried to shoot, and I realized like that day, this was when I was like 13 probably,
Yeah.
that I am like right-handed but like left eye dominant. So like
Oh.
like I can't like close my left eye because then it changes the perspective and everything.
Yeah.
So like I have to shoot with like both eyes open, or I have to learn how to shoot left-handed. So I haven't really gone shot after that. I haven't shot once after that.
Oh,
Um,
that's wild.
yeah. Fishing, I don't go enough. I wish I did, but yeah.
Do you have your own
Um,
fishing gear?
yeah, I do. I mean, my grandpa was like a huge outdoorsman. And he was in the Marines and like um I mean, after he went hunting and had a huge fishing collection stuff. So after he died, we inherited like most of it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I've got a whole huge collection.
But yeah, I I shot guns one time and there's like a place in Maumee, I think, where you can shoot inside. And I don't own guns. Again, I didn't grow up with guns. My dad never had it. We didn't go hunting or nothing. But I really enjoyed it, and I probably enjoyed it more because I was really good at it. And
No.
I don't know how that happened, or if it's just you. Some people can just be good at shooting guns at stationary targets. But
Yeah.
it was a cool experience. It didn't. I mean, I'm not gonna like go out and buy a bunch of guns now, but
No.
it was fun. It was a fun thing to do as like axe throwing. Like go axe throwing. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like a cool thing. And I haven't been back since, but just because I don't know any guns. So when am I going to go shoot
Yeah.
somebody else's guns?
Yeah.
Boden, is there something you besides deer? Is there anything else that you hunt for or have gone hunting for?
So the week before we went squirrel hunting.
Squirrel hunting?
Yeah,
I know
it's kind
people
of
do
fun.
that, but it's wild to me.
So you literally just walk through the woods, and if you see one, you shoot it. And they're like running around the ground and everything. They're just
Yeah,
running. It's fun to try and like find them, but it's really annoying when you don't see any.
yeah, because normally you're like looking in your backyard and they're everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, why can't we just leave here, go back home, and just get like 15 of them in my backyard, and we'll be good.
And you eat them?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
they
We
good?
have two in the freezer right now. I've
Just
never had it yet, but
oh, you
we're
haven't
gonna.
eaten them.
No, you can't eat them though. But we have them in our freezer right now, and our mom is not too happy. But we're waiting to get more before you eat them because it's like two bites and you're done because
Sure.
it's just they're so small.
Yeah, they're rats,
Mm.
man.
Yeah, tree rats.
Three
So
reds.
so how many do you need in order to have a feast of squirrel?
Um, I would probably say like 10 to 15
Yeah.
because you can only really eat the legs, so you only get two, maybe four off of each one, depending on the
Man.
size of it.
Well, technically, you get four off everyone. It's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there are
are
four
they good or
legs on a
not?
squirrel.
Squirrels. I I
Yeah.
could probably eat it. I like to try different things. I could probably eat it, but I don't know, man. Graham, if you went over to Boden's house, it's like, hey, we're gonna have some squirrel. Would you eat it?
I don't think I'd be rude. I think I'd try it.
I
I
don't
would
think I'd
definitely
be
try it.
rude.
No. Okay.
I 100% don't think you'd be rude.
No, I would try it. I mean, I've had like, I mean, whenever my dad goes hunting, I mean, we
Yeah.
have like quail and pheasant, so like I'm used to eating game. But
Well,
um,
you were in England for a while, and they have weird food over there sometimes, right?
oh yeah, I found out. Do you know what haggis is?
Um, is it like intestines or stomach or something like that?
It's like okay, so it's a sheep's stomach, and they
Yeah,
fill it with like the like ground up like lungs, intestine, and like liver of the sheep,
yeah.
and it's like in a sausage, and they got some like sauce that goes in there, but it's like in that. Well, I was in Scotland, and like this was like one of the first weekends we were there. We like took a weekend trip up there,
Yeah.
and my dad gets like a personal kind of sampler thing of like all sorts of different food and everything. But one of the things that's on there is like a sausage looking thing. Like it was like only a sampler, so like wasn't in the actual casing. It was just like a little like scoop of it or whatever,
Oh, okay, okay.
and it just looked like sausage. And he was like, "Here, come try this." And I took a bite of it, not knowing what it was, and I thought it was okay. But then he told me what it was and like what it was made of, and I literally almost went to the bathroom and threw up. But yeah, yeah, that was
I think you could eat squirrel after eating
I
a
yeah.
menagerie of innards. I think you can
Oh
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
When did you when and why were you living in England?
I I left for England after like during the summer between 5th and 6th grade.
Okay. And you
So
lived in
I was
Perrysburg too?
yeah, I had lived in Perrysburg. I mean, before then I was in Indiana, but like from spring break of 3rd grade to like 5th grade, I was living in Perrysburg in the same house I'm in now.
Okay.
And yeah, my dad took an expat assignment at the time. He was working for Cooper Tires.
Okay.
Um, now, of course, they're bought by Goodyear,
Of
which
course,
is
everyone
why,
knows that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, uh, yeah, so he took like an expat assignment, and we spent, it was originally supposed to be 2 years over there, and we got extended to 3. Um, they were trying to get us to stay a 4th year, but at that point, if I had stayed a 4th year, I would have come back as a sophomore, not a freshman, and we really didn't want to deal with the credits transferring or anything because we come to find out they didn't like accept any of the transfer credits. So, but oh well,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And that's when we met. I forgot too. Like I remember Coach Krieg was like, "Hey, can you go meet this kid? He's from England.
oh yeah,
His mom wants to talk about football." And we were standing we were standing at the stadium by the track, I
uh-huh,
believe, and
yeah,
just chit chatting or whatever. And then I don't
yep,
think I realized that was you. Maybe we talked about it again in your junior year. I don't remember,
yeah.
but there
I
was
think
another time I was
so.
like, "Oh, that was you." Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh,
Did you
yeah.
enjoy living over there at all?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, like looking back on it, like it's definitely like the coolest experience I've ever had. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, it's also not home, and there was a lot of things I missed, and it wasn't. We weren't around family and my friends I've had forever, and I missed out on a lot of things. But at the same time, like I lived in England, like I'll have that story forever, and
Yeah.
like, I mean, those will be. I mean, not a lot of people can. I'm not going to meet a lot of new people that can say they've done something like that. So
Especially being the age you were where you can remember some of that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Like I
maybe
was.
your little brother Noli Bear might not know
Oh
all that
yeah.
all those
I'm not
things.
sure Nolly Bear remembers the first couple of years, but yeah.
Well, I'm glad you moved back.
Uh huh.
And did you like when you moved back? Were you able to pick up with your friends that you left 3 years ago? Like did
There was one friend who I did like a really good job staying in touch with while I was gone. He goes to St. John's now, but I was really good friends with him. He was about the only kid that lived near me. And yeah, I could walk to his house every day, and or not every day, but if I wanted to,
yeah,
you know. But yeah, so I did a really good job of keeping in touch with him. So he's still my friend to this day. I mean, some of my other friends changed, and I changed, and I
sure.
mean, we're not super close anymore, but I still like him as people, and but yeah,
I,
my
I think that happens. I mean, that might have happened regardless of you moving or not from
mhm,
fifth grade and then going to the junior high and then junior high to high school. Like
yeah,
people just change anyway, and it might have just been bound to happen, and just being
mhm,
across an ocean made it go a little
yeah,
faster, maybe.
yeah,
Boden,
mhm,
do you have any interest? And the only reason I'm asking this question is because I have a lot of interest in going to Europe. Like, I think it'd be fun to go to Europe. I'm terrified of the plane ride because I don't like planes and flying, and I don't like water, and you got to do it the whole time over the water. So that's going to
Yeah.
be fun when I decide to do that. But do you have any desire to travel? Maybe not just Europe, but just in general. Like, is that something you think you'd want to do?
Yeah. I mean, earlier in my life, we like went camping a lot.
Yeah.
And we like traveled the US, and that was always a lot of fun. Like we went to like South Dakota. We went on like a trip to like New York and that kind of like places. And
Okay.
it was always so much fun. So I think I'd enjoy it. I've never been on a public plane before. So
Wait. You've never flown anywhere.
I mean I've flown a plane on a like in like a summer camp I went to. I was able to
Okay, but
fly
not
one.
like a commercial airline.
No.
You've never taken a plane ride.
Nope.
Wow. All
I mean
right.
maybe when I was like one, but like I don't remember it.
Well, you would 100% be uncomfortable. I could tell you that.
Yeah. I've heard
yeah. They
like
don't
people
make
like
seats bone sized.
I've heard like 6 foot people like complaining about not enough leg room. I'm like, I have an extra like 6 inches. I don't know what to do with. Like
Yeah, man. I'm
out in the
six
aisle,
two.
maybe.
I'm 6'2", and it's uncomfortable for me.
Hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean it's crazy because a lot of times people at least will be on one or two flights by the time they're 18 years old.
Yeah,
But well, even you know what though, even me that I'm saying that, but my parents when we would travel, we drove everywhere. We always
mhm.
drove. And I don't think I got on a plane once when I was maybe 10. Me and my grandpa went to Dallas Cowboys training camp. And I remember going there. I don't remember. The only thing I remember about the airplane ride is my grandpa made me dress up because he's old and he like, but back in the day when you're doing that, like you got to be fancy or whatever. So I had to put a polo shirt on, tuck my polo shirt in my pants, and just be this little 10-year-old nerd on this airplane. But and then I probably didn't get on another plane until after I was married for my honeymoon. Like it's yeah. I guess it's not as crazy as I thought, but it's I don't know.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, like I I mean there were like a couple like flights I went on when it was like just me and my mom and dad, like when I was like really young, like before I could really remember. But like past the age of like 4, I didn't go on a flight until like we went to England for the first time.
Okay.
And I mean, other than that, we only been on, I mean, other than like when we're traveling around England, but like, yeah, when we're back in the US, I've only been on one other plane. So, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, the hardest part is trying to find 5 plane tickets for a cheap price. So I feel like that's another main reason is you
oh yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
have like you have to spend a lot of money to get
Mhm.
5 people on the same flight on a comfortable flight rather than driving.
Yeah, and that's I mean we had 6 people in our family, so that's that makes sense. We tried it. When we go on airplanes, we try to time it where it matches up with our credit card points where we don't have to pay for our plane tickets, so it makes it a little easier that way. But yeah, it is expensive,
Yeah.
and having a big family, obviously that's part of it too. Huh. Do you Boden, do you think like because you've never been on the plane, is that even something you want to do? Or you're like, I'm good. I just because I know for me, I was so used to driving everywhere that like it doesn't bother me to drive places. I just didn't know if it was you like, hey, if we're going on this vacation, what I want to go on an airplane once and be cramped for 6 hours.
I mean, I feel like I've always wanted to do it at least once,
Sure.
but it's always just been driving everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we've gone to Florida twice and we drove both times. But we'd like this past summer we drove down to Virginia. It was like 8 hours away,
Yeah.
and we literally just drove and it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
It was just like something that growing up I've done, so I'm not really that concerned about trying to fly
Yeah.
when you can be comfortable in a car for 8 hours rather than flying for 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like I said, when we were little, my parents took us to Texas all the time, and then we had to do it as adults. I remember it was me. I think it was me and maybe both my sisters. I can't remember, but we had drove down there for a funeral. And it was such a different experience driving as adults like we were the ones driving as opposed to kids. When you're a kid, that like you could be driving for 8 hours and you fall asleep and it feels like you've been driving for an hour. Like you you get there's no time when you're a child. Like everything is just like it's all part of the same day, especially when you're napping in a car. It seems like it just teleports you. You're just teleported to wherever the hell you're going.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have to drive yourself, it may be a different feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, I started getting tired when I drove like long distance. I'm like,
A little dangerous.
only I could take a nap right now, but I'm the one driving, so I need to stay awake and keep going.
Good call. Good call on
Yeah.
a no nap there.
Yeah. My foot's
Landon, is that
choice.
yeah? Is that a dartboard behind you?
A dartboard? Yeah.
Do you is that for just for looks or do you play darts?
I used to throw it a little bit more, especially like when I was in England. I had that dartboard in my room in England too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I am not very good because of my right
Oh
hand
yeah, yeah.
dominance and left eye, whatever. I think I was supposed to be a lefty, but I just like, I don't know, like I'm a natural lefty, but I ended up being righty. But like, I don't know, I've got a left eye dominance, so
Do you do anything with your left hand?
no, not yet. Maybe I need
No,
to start teaching myself, but
because I know Mateo is writes left-handed, but does everything else like he throws right, he bats right, like everything else he does with his right hand, except for actually doing schoolwork. He's left-handed, which I find really odd. But
yeah.
who am
Hmm.
I? Who am I to
Yeah.
judge?
Yeah, I've always done everything with my right hand, so I'd have to teach myself.
Um, what did you make the blue color choice in your room? I'm very fascinated by it. Plus, your
Um,
room, just the walls. Your room looks very neat. Are you neat?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean,
Like
most of
like
the
if
time I am.
like if you pan the
Yes.
camera down, is there stuff all over the floor?
Not really. Like,
No.
not right now. I mean, it depends. Like, most of the time it's just like laundry that I just don't put away.
Boden's
Um,
shaking his head. Yes, like yes, you are a very neat person.
yeah.
Yeah, this past summer we snuck into his house and we went into his room and it was
Oh
like
yeah, they
so neat and tidy.
yeah.
It's kind of
They
funny.
snuck in through like I can't remember. I don't know what you would officially call it or whatever, but we have like a window that like opens up in the basement and like it's like a whatever. I don't know what the name is for it, but anyways, there's basically like a little trap door into the basement.
Okay.
And my brother sneaked Boden and Yong into my house and hid in my house for like an hour before I realized.
Oh, you were home?
I was home. It was just me and my brother home. And I don't know the whole why they decided to do it and why they didn't just come in the front door, but apparently my brother like unlocked the basement window or something and yeah, and they came in through the basement and they were in my house for like an hour before I realized.
Did you even know they were coming over and you're just like, where are these
No,
guys
I
at?
didn't. I
Or
had no idea. I
oh my
like,
gosh.
yeah,
First of all,
I had no idea.
the idea of Bowden sneaking anywhere is hilarious to me.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. We have a doorbell camera, but at this like my notifications like weren't turned on for it for whatever reason,
Huh.
so I didn't see the like person seen or whatever.
Yeah.
But I look back on the video and it's so funny. Bowden's like pressed up against the wall, like hands on either side, and he's just like shimmying along the wall, and it's like the funniest video I have of him.
Oh
he's,
my
like,
god.
he's like sticking about 3 feet out from the wall, and he's like.
Oh, that's funny. What were you guys doing in there? What were you and Yang doing in there, Bowden?
We were just gonna like surprise him.
Yeah.
So we get into the house and Landon goes upstairs. So we hurry up and try and like find a place to hide upstairs. So
Again,
like
you
there's
hiding
nowhere to
like
go.
it's
Oh
And
yeah,
then
this is
Landon's dog decides to start following us around. So I have a video on my phone of us in Landon's closet, like trying to make sure his dog doesn't bark, just laying on the ground and like petting its stomach and everything. It's just like it's such a crazy scenario because we ran past Landon
oh yeah.
and we're
I
just in
was
his
like,
closet petting the dog. We're not sure like what we're gonna do next.
oh yeah, I don't know how I didn't hear the trample of Boden and Young running past me, but I was like in the bathroom and I had my AirPods in. And I remember like
uh,
hearing something and then seeing my brother go by and I just assumed it was my brother, but I guess there was 600 pounds of dude running through my hallway. So
Oh man,
damn. Yeah, that is a lot of dude trying to be sneaky.
oh
it
yeah.
worked.
Hey, but I was saying it worked. They hid for an hour. How'd you find him, or when'd you find him?
They started playing some song on my TV. I got like a TV in my room, but I don't have really anything on it. It's just like
Ah,
YouTube.
okay.
But they started playing some stupid song here. I'm like, what is going on? I just come in here and I open the closet and they're all in there and I didn't even know what to say.
He's just in complete shock because he
Sure.
doesn't expect to see three guys all coming out of his closet.
Oh wait, there's
Oh
somebody
yeah.
else in there too.
His
Oh, my
brother,
brother.
Oh, your brother. Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, and his dog.
How old's your
Yeah.
brother, Landon?
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman currently.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So you'll have him next year.
What position does he play?
This year, well, he's kind of like I'm just waiting for him to grow. He's right now he's like 5'6" or something, five
Yeah,
six, 5'7".
yeah.
But he's like he played I mean, he started a lot of the games at D tackle. Um, and then I think like his offensive position, like he was a backup offensive guard.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. He's like built a lot differently than me. He's much more like stocky.
Mm,
So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with him. I'm really hoping he gets like 5'10" at least, and then we'll see. But yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Bowden, you have brothers too, right?
I have an older brother.
Just one older brother.
Yep, and a younger sister.
Okay. All right. How do you get along with them? Being a middle child, how do you get along with your siblings?
When we were younger, we'd always like me and my sister would rival against my brother, and it would always be like we're trying to get him in trouble and that kind of stuff. But as like we've grown up, we've all just like don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
So we just hang out and have fun.
Nice. Good. I thought it was cool, like when you said there was three people in there, including your little brother, Landon, that um that your brother feels comfortable enough to be with your friends. I'm sure at
Oh,
some
I know.
point, you're like, all right, get out of here.
He's claimed a lot of my friends,
Yeah.
including Boden and Young and everybody. He thinks he can hang out with us all the time now. So every
As
time,
some yeah, as somebody who had an older brother, that was just the one thing I wanted to do more than anything is hang out with him and his friends.
yeah.
So
Like
it is
I think one time my mom made me like take him out. Like when we were going to lunch or something,
yeah.
and like my mom made me take him, and like ever since then he's just been like it's like little fly on the wall and like little he's just following us everywhere.
As much as it seems like it annoys you, just based on that last look and comment you made, uh, it is a thing that, regardless of what happens now, like it is a thing that he won't forget about. Like it
Yeah,
might not be specific things, or maybe it is. Maybe he will remember Young hiding with Young and Boden squished in a closet. Like maybe he will
yeah,
remember that stuff specifically. But I know I don't forget the times that my brothers included me playing football with him and his friends, or even when I was a freshman at Perrysburg. I just moved to Perrysburg, and I remember asking a girl to our homecoming dance, and she said no. And my brother called his four of his friends that were girls from Toledo, and me and my brother went with four girls to this homecoming dance. Like, but it was cool because like who's
yeah,
this guy who's and so being an older brother, all those little things, it might seem trivial to you, and maybe to your brother at this time, like he thinks like, oh, I'm just hanging out with his friends, but it is something like even myself, like I don't forget that kind of stuff because it's important.
hmm yeah.
So be a, be a
hmm
good be a good older brother.
I am.
I know. I assume both of you are very good siblings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's mostly like my brother and my sister that bicker, but and that's kind of they moved past that a little bit, but it was
Yeah.
never me.
All right. Well,
So
good. Landon, what else is on those shelves back there? I'm very intrigued. I like knickknacks.
there, I
Yeah.
do you know like Lego architecture? Like it's like a type of Lego. It's basically it's like landmarks around the world put in
Oh,
Lego.
okay.
I've got a lot of them. I've got them other places too in the room, but that's what those are.
Are those? Do you just like those specific types of Legos, or do you like Legos in general?
I mean, mostly just those. I
Okay.
used to be really big into it, but like, yeah. I mean, if I'd say like the only thing I'd build now would be those.
Which one? Which one
It's
of your
in
favorite? Which one of your favorite ones you built?
of the Lego architecture, I think probably my favorite one. You can't see it on camera, but I have the U.S. Capitol building over there.
Okay.
But my favorite one I have is like a replica like Saturn V rocket. It's like
Okay.
that long.
Oh, no kidding.
I got it like sitting in my room over there. But
There's
yeah.
a lot of them. I would just Google it just now to check it out.
Mhm.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, my
Yeah.
kids have mountains of Legos down here. That every once in a while, like every couple months, they get into it, and there's Lego stuff all over the place. But my daughter likes the Lego Friends,
Yeah.
and she always does that. And I'm staring at like the only like I love Legos. Like it's really fun to build them. It's really and then
Yeah.
like, but then what?
Yeah, I know. I don't buy them for myself. Like most of the time I'll just like I'll ask like and I don't even really ask for them. Like I'll just get them for like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah,
And like it's fun to do like on Christmas Day and stuff, but like
yeah.
beyond that,
Because
but
then like for us, I just I had a friend who their family, um, their the him and his wife and kids, they would build these sets, and maybe it was more his wife that would do it. But then afterward, like they would take them apart and then put them back in the bag with the instructions and stuff. I'm like, that's probably a good idea because like then you can build them again if you want to.
uh-huh.
But they had them all in like in these bags that said what they were, and it's a lot easier to store. I tell you that. We have a shelf full of these things, and they're just
Oh
sitting
yeah.
there waiting to fall down, and then people cry because they're broken. So
Yeah.
Boden, are you into Legos at all?
Funny story.
Uh-oh.
My family owned a
You
Lego
broke into
store.
Landon's house. Oh, sorry.
My family owned a Lego store in Levis, not probably
I remember that now.
2016.
Lego store.
Yeah.
So are you turned off by Legos now because you don't own a Lego store anymore?
I mean, I don't really build Legos that often. I'm kind
Okay.
of like Landon, where if I get them for Christmas, it's always fun that day.
Mm.
But my older brother is obsessed with them.
Oh,
Like he bought the Lego Titanic,
I just saw that online when I was looking. Yeah.
the Titanic, um,
I've seen
the
that
Millennium
thing.
Falcon.
It's impressive.
Yeah. How
Uh,
he has the money to do that, I don't know, but he does.
hey, wait, well, how much? Let me see. Let me see. It's almost 10,000 pieces.
Hmm.
This says it's $200.
Oh, that's not right then.
Yeah, that ain't right.
This one, yeah. Oh, that's from Timu, or however you say that. Yeah, that's a lot of pieces.
Hmm.
Um, the ones
Crazy.
I like are I don't have one yet, but I think it'd be cool to buy one and put on my desk at work. The ones that you can like, there's plants and flowers and stuff. I like
Hmm.
those.
Oh yeah. Hmm. I got like a little bonsai tree.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I also got this one that sits on my desk. Hold on, I'll grab it. It's like a little ship in the bottle.
That's
That's
Lego.
yeah, it's Lego.
That's sweet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, you said bonsai. That's one of my things I want to. I have too many things that I do, and
Yeah.
there's just things that are on the list of me waiting to try these things. Bonsai is one of the things I want to do. Like real life, get this
Uh-huh.
make a bond, I have a bonsai plant. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I get into it on TikTok every once in a while, and I see people like do their bonsai, or if they gotta
Oh
like
yeah.
repot them,
Uh-huh.
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm also
Mm.
I that's the kind of outdoors I like, Boden.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll grow my own food.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, before we go, there's one more thing, guys. What I know, I talked to you, both of you, a little bit about like, hey, what are you guys doing after high school, or what that kind of stuff. Um, Landon, I talked to you more just because you were in my position group
Mhm.
for a little bit this year, but for the most part, you have been. Are you still entertaining the idea of playing football, or are you just moving on and are you
I'm
still making a
probably
decision?
moving on realistically.
Okay,
Unless I end up going to a school like a smaller school, and I end up walking on somewhere. But I just never really found that school that was like wanted me for football and like it was a school I really wanted to go to.
got it.
So I had never really found that balance. So I've got all my applications in for any other college. But yeah,
All right.
so
Well, and like I said, I told you during the season, like you're gonna do a good job wherever you go, and it's if college is your thing and that's what you want to do, like it's important to make sure it's the right fit. Whether it's you have your heart set on playing football, and then that just didn't happen, so now
mhm.
you've turned this other direction, and it's like all right, why now I got to pick a school that's right for me, and if they have football and I feel like walking on, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Um, but
Mhm.
Bowden, what about you? What I know there had been some schools talking to you, and I just didn't know like where you're at as far as like what you want to do.
So, like as like a degree, I don't really know yet,
Okay.
but I was mainly looking at Ashland University,
Okay.
and I really enjoy it there. Like all the coaches are great. Um, and they just won like their bowl game yesterday
Oh, nice.
or 2 days ago. It was really cool to watch them do that. But on Friday I got a walk-on spot at BG, so
Okay.
I'm trying
What?
to just decide.
Since when? How can you
Uh,
not tell me this?
Friday.
So those so I was a preferred walk on for UT and BG when I was coming out of school. I ultimately decided not to do it. Just know that again, like do what you think is the best for you. Like
Hmm.
if you think going to Ashland and if they give scholarships there, get a scholarship, or if you think it's going to BG and walking on there, just make sure that you do what's best for you. Get everyone's opinion that you want, but ultimately it's your decision, and you got to understand like, all right, this is what I'm going to do for the next 4 or 5 years of my life,
Yeah.
and make a informed choice, and don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong, because it's your choice, and only you know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird because I've grown up. My grandparents went to BG. They've been going to every
Oh,
game for 10 years or so.
yeah,
So like they were really excited when I told them.
sure.
But it's just like the walk-on spot is kind of like I'll have to work outside of football, and that it's just something I have to think about. It's just trying
Sure,
to
yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Well, again, I'm sure you'll make a great choice, and wherever you go, you're going to have a good time, and you're going to have to work hard regardless of what happens.
yeah,
But I know you, and I've known you long enough where that's not something you're going to turn your back on. It's hard work. So, both of you, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I'm glad you came on, Boden. I'm glad you kept pestering me. It was a great episode. You guys did a great job.
thank you.
Thank you for everything. Coach Connor said it too. Thank you for everything you've done for the program. It's always so fun, like just being out there with you guys and talking to you. And every year as coaches, we just gotta turn the page and go on to the next season, because that's our job. But we don't forget about you guys. When you guys come back, and that's always the best part for me, is when I look down towards our goal, towards our end zone, and see just alumni standing there. Like, it's cool, because I know for me, I feel like I did something right if people are wanting to come back and watch, their old school. So, make sure you guys, if you guys get the chance, make sure you guys come say hi to us. I know we still got a school year left, so I'm sure I'll see you around. But again, thank you for everything. Thanks for coming on this podcast, man, and have a good week.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having
you
us.
too. Thank you.
Thanks again to my guests, Andrew, Boden, and Landon Graham, for coming on the podcast today. It was awesome to, obviously it wasn't, the awesome part wasn't them coming on here to talk about the end of our football season, but to hear them, talk about it, because I think it's important to understand how they felt and what they're going through, and just to hear things and from their perspective, because I'm a coach and that's the part I know, so, to hear perspective of players and what they went through and how they feel was pretty cool. And obviously talking about all the other stuff, the hunting was fun, eating squirrel, maybe not so much, haggis, getting into Legos, all that kind of stuff. So again, thanks to them for coming on the podcast. Thanks to all of you for downloading, liking, subscribing, and sharing to the podcast. It means a lot to me. Keep doing that. Please check out 3 Different Dads, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Search 3 Different Dads to hear me, Jim, and Tyler talk about utter nonsense. That's a fun podcast as well. That's it. Again, subscribe to that YouTube page. Check that out. Maybe I'll put that in the links so people just click on it, check it out, and enjoy seeing faces and not just hearing mouths. That sounds weird. But anyway, we'll end it with that. So, as always, thanks to Big Daddy Graphics, Real JP Multimedia, Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab, and Cuttlefish Graphics for always helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.